Platform movement in Smash is pretty underdeveloped in my opinion in a lot of skill levels, more commonly like the lower to mid levels. So today I'm going to be showing you ways to get off of a platform, and there's a lot of ways that you can do it, whether it's vertically, horizontally, or even just like, you know, under. And that's pretty much the gist. So to get things started, one thing that people talk about is how platforms are sticky. And a big part of platforms being sticky comes to when you land on a platform and you have landing line. You can just stick to the platform. It's really hard to get through the platform and really hard to get off the platform. So the first type of platform movement that a lot of people do is they'll end up running off and kind of doing an aerial. And you'll see this a lot. This is very common in a lot of levels of play. Even at the top level, this is very common. This is going to happen a lot. But the main thing is at the lower levels of play, this is primarily the way to get off of the platform. The problem with that is it makes it very obvious to your opponent when you get onto a platform how you're going to get off. You're going to get off from the left side or from the right side. And as an opponent, you know, it's a lot easier to be like, oh, my opponent's going to fall off the platform here. Let's try to position a move there, or let's shield and grab their aerial. Age-old tactics, age-old tactics. So what else can you do to get off of the platform? Well, there's an old melee tech, it's called Isaiah dropping, where when you land on a platform with an aerial, instead of trying to like run off, you can actually land with an aerial, do a slight walk forward, or a slight walk backwards, aka a turnaround, and entering that animation actually makes it so you cannot crouch on top of the platform. Now, if I were to land and just hold down, if I time it incorrectly, you can just get this crouch. You can't really do much about it. You're going to be crouched on the platform, you're going to be stuck, and you're not going to enjoy your time. You're probably going to end up shielding because you just don't feel comfortable. So with Isaiah dropping, or just like platform dropping, it makes it a lot easier to, one, go through the platform, or two, even like turn around when it comes to moving through the platform. With this game, there comes a little bit of an easier method where it's pretty much just a double down press. I wasn't fully aware of this myself, actually. It was kind of a subconscious thing until I talked to Charles about it. But essentially, if you land with an aerial and you hold down, of course, because you're fast falling, you're not going to have access to getting through the platform because you're just going to get this crouch. There's not a lot that you can do, especially if you're crouching. So what you want to do is you actually want to fast fall into the platform. You want to kind of cancel this crouch, but more importantly, move your stick to neutral, and then you want to press down. So if you do that properly, it'll look something like this, where in comparison to the Isaiah drops or platform drops, where you're moving ever so slightly when it comes to moving through the platform, you kind of just move straight up and down. And this is probably the most consistent strategy. It will differ depending on how much landing line your character has and, you know, when you kind of want to cancel it. Because sometimes you'll end up in just a really long lag move, and when you do the second down press, you're still going to be crouching. So when it comes to doing this, make sure you time it, practice it with your character. That's primarily good ways to get off the platform downwards. What you do after that is up to you. You can do like nair, or like nair fastball grab. You can do like nair air dodge, which is something I like doing just so that way I can kind of get past my opponent and make sure I land on the ground before I engage my next neutral interaction. There's a lot of things that you can do when, in comparison to only leaving the platform to the left and to the right, you can start leaving the platform by going through the platform, which a lot of people, again, the game calls it, or I guess the players call it, sticky platforms for a reason. And there is a lot that you can do to just like kind of get past that. So another option that you can do when it comes to landing with an aerial, if you don't feel like super confident in either getting off on the sides or even just like getting off under because your opponent's under you, you can full hop. And I know it sounds crazy, but the main use of this is if you happen to land with an aerial and your opponent's still under you and you're shielding, full hop makes it so you can disengage the situation really, really easily. Now the main thing about full hop is it's really hard to catch. If your opponent hits your shield and they try to catch your full hop, it makes it to where they have to commit really hard on a potential read on where you're going to end up going. And as an opponent, you know, it doesn't feel too great having to read when you're in an advantageous situation. So if they do try to catch the full hop, you can just do a bunch of other stuff, just move past them. Super, super simple. As long as you kind of keep the idea of I can full hop away from them, it's really good. It's really, really good. So yeah, those are the ways you want to get off a platform. Just remember, one, the most common one is run off with an aerial. Running off with an aerial makes it so you don't have to worry about getting stuck on the platform. Two, do the platform drops, where either one, you do the Isaiah drop with the slight walk forward or the slight walk backwards, also known as platform dropping. Two, you do the aerial and you just let go back to neutral, and then you press down. That way you immediately drop downwards afterwards. Or three, where you land with an aerial, and you might get pressured and you full hop out. Catch your full hop. No, your opponent has to keep guessing. And even if they like hit the shield,